las caídas fueron errores, o sea, hay que decir las cosas por su nombre. Pasa que fueron errores producidos por sus ganas de hacerlo bien y por creerse, que eso es buenísimo, creerse que lo podía hacer.
No era muy consciente del peligro que corría, ni era consciente de que estaba haciendo algo mal, de que estaba arriesgando quizá demasiado en algunas circunstancias, algunas situaciones. Como no lo entendía, pues no cambiaba mi manera de correr y de ir en la moto, y volvía a cometer errores y me volvía a caer.
Llegó un punto que Jorge se veía tan capaz y se veía tan fuerte que le perdió un poco el respeto a la moto. Vinieron caídas muy fuertes. Y así y todo, él seguía creyendo en sus posibilidades, seguía creyendo que podía superar, incluso superar a la moto, y no fue solo una caída, fueron más.
Y aprendí que en MotoGP era muy importante calentar bien los neumáticos, que hasta que no estuviesen realmente en su punto de temperatura era muy peligroso. Y tenía muchas posibilidades de caerte si entrabas a una velocidad normal. Y después también entendí que a veces era más importante quedar segundo, tercero, que intentar ganar de todas las maneras y conseguir 0 puntos.
Psicológicamente le llegó a decir en algunas entrevistas que tenía miedo, algo que un piloto no suele decir, y de allí a superarlo tuvo que hacer muchos kilómetros, no caerse muchas veces para volver a coger confianza.
Reflexionó y dijo, bueno, esto realmente es peligroso y no hay que tener miedo, nunca hay que tener miedo, pero hay que tener el respeto en la justa medida que necesita la moto para controlarla. Esto ha sido clarísima, para mí la mayor evolución que ha hecho Jorge, porque de pasar a tener caídas graves seguidas, ha pasado a ganar un campeonato sin caerse ni una vez. O sea, la evolución es perfecta.
Lo ricordo con grande gioia quell'anno, perché fu l'anno che ci portò fuori dalla crisi 2006-2007, poi tra l'altro il 2007 fu un anno particolare, brutto e particolarmente brutto, e in pista e fuori, soprattutto per Valentino, quindi quell'anno sapevamo che sarebbe stato l'anno della rivincita.
By mid-season, like you mentioned a few minutes ago, Laguna Seca, it was time to deal a blow that would swing the championship in our favour. Casey, I think, at that point had won 3 races consecutively, and we needed to respond.
Era un momento topico, un momento importante, fondamentale del campionato. Probabilmente chi vinceva quella gara vinceva il mondiale. E Stoner con la Ducati andava fortissimo nelle prove, molto più forte di noi, e però la domenica sono riuscito a essere un po' più veloce, ma soprattutto a tenerlo dietro, a non farlo passare.
Before the race, I don't normally say much to Valentino, but what I pointed out to Valentino was that Casey hasn't had anybody in front of him all weekend. If we can just get in front, maybe it will give us that piece that will help us through, and that Casey hasn't thought about, and that's exactly what Valentino did.
In second position once more, round the outside, going up the Rahal straight. Unbelievable stuff from Casey Stoner. And Rossi comes straight back at the corkscrew. We haven't seen action like this as Rossi runs off track and pushes Stoner wide. What amazing stuff. Here's Valentino Rossi and Casey Stoner duking out. They're doing so in the championship.
Lo vogliamo chiamare il sorpasso del secolo? Dai, lo potremmo anche chiamare. Quello è il posto giusto per creare queste magie, diciamo così. In quel momento Valentino, che doveva a tutti i costi stare davanti a Stoner perché in quel momento arrivava da un periodo felice, trovò quel guizzo per fare quell'entrata azzardata ma non scorretta.
The overtaking itself, obviously nobody in their right mind planned at Laguna Seca to put both wheels in the sand. It was a mistake by Valentino, a sort of a desperate mistake that came out okay. His ability saved it. He was able to stay on the track. That was a race that Casey Stoner knows to this day he should have won. He had the quickest bike. He was dominant in practice, but he was a younger rider then, although he had a World's Championship. Valentino saw that the only way he could beat Stoner that day was to harry him, to harass him, to make his life miserable on the track. That's what he did, and that pass kind of set it off. Later, Stoner crashed at turn 11, we'll recall, and the race in the books looks like it was a 13-second advantage. Actually, it was one of the closest and best Grand Prix races of our decade.
Lui ha sbagliato e quindi io sono riuscito a vincere, poi da lì ho vinto 5 gare di fila e quindi quella è stata una gara che è valsa molto di più dei 25 punti.
As for the race, you know, most of the time it was very nice, very clean. Valentino was riding great pace at the front, you know, riding very well, very defensive, and you know, I just felt that some of the passing manoeuvres were maybe a little bit too much and past the point of fair or aggressive. You know, I've been riding for a lot of years, and even though I'm only 22, I've been now racing for 18 years. I've had a lot of overtaking manoeuvres. I've done a lot of overtaking manoeuvres, and you know, it was just some of the most aggressive I've had in a long time.
I make the tactic that I think is possible for try to win, and for sure the overtaking, we make a lot of overtaking, quite aggressive, but we never touch each other. So I think anyway, I enjoy the battle.
It's all very difficult to be friends and mates with your chief rival, and they were big rivals out there. Casey's always thought that everyone sucks up to Valentino and he gets what he wants, never gets penalised for anything because he is Valentino Rossi. So it's sort of cross, but I think Casey's motivated sometimes by his anger.
Relationship with Valentino has changed quite a lot. You know, of course, in 2006 and the beginning of 2007, he didn't regard me as a threat at all. So when I went and won races, you know, he's congratulated me and very happy for me and everything like that. But as soon as he realised that I was a threat, that completely changed. He started spreading rumours out in the paddock and saying that, you know, everything I'd done was because of the electronics on the Ducati and all these different things and the way 800s were progressing. So, you know, over the time, because I've become one of his greatest rivals, then I think, you know, his opinion changed of me.
That was probably the best head-to-head between Valentino and Jorge that we had during their term together. I mean, they were 3 years together in that team, but here we were, they were almost equal in the championship at that stage, and basically here we're on Jorge's home territory. But the tension between them was growing. Obviously, Jorge was getting faster and faster, and Valentino was still the man in the championship at that stage because Vale was champion in 2008.
the year before, Lorenzo may have been victorious, but he didn't actually race at Catalonia the year before, so it was his chance to do well at home. Valentino Rossi, you know, it ticked off Biaggi, it ticked off Gibernau, it had the hoo-ha at Laguna Seca with Casey Stoner, and now it was time to push this threat that was coming through, and of all people, a guy in your own team.
Ya antes de empezar, Rossi vio que realmente tenía un rival con un potencial muy grande.
I think Rossi saw Lorenzo as a great rival long before Lorenzo himself had really awakened to the fact that he was going to compete with Rossi so soon in his career.
L'arrivo di Lorenzo, già appena annunciato, ha creato questa rivalità. Poi Lorenzo è stato bravo a gestirla dalla sua parte, Valentino bravissimo dalla sua, però una rivalità che è nata subito appena i due hanno cominciato a convivere nel box. Ricordiamo poi la divisione, il muro, perché c'era la diversità di gomme, insomma tante cose.
Era un momento dove Lorenzo stava andando molto forte e eravamo a casa sua. E quindi voleva battermi. Era anche quella una gara importante per il campionato, anche perché lui tutto il weekend era stato molto veloce.
Estaban un poco desesperados, con miedo, con mucha presión, y sabían que esa carrera era muy importante, que el ganador de esa carrera tendría muchas opciones de ganar el campeonato.
Siamo partiti, andavamo molto forte, siamo andati via solo io e lui con le due Yamaha e sapevo che ce la dovevamo giocare all'ultimo giro.
Everybody was incredibly excited to watch the race, and there was this overtaking maneuver, then another, then Lorenzo came back, and it looked like it was done.
Lorenzo, he gets the run out of his body. Sono insieme, durissima. Rossi very Valentino. Lorenzo now in the turn 13. And Rossi. Non ci credo, non ci posso credere. Rossi,
Ero molto vicino, quindi ho deciso di provare l'ultima curva, anche se è una curva un po' difficile per superare, però ci ho provato e ce l'ho fatta. È stato probabilmente il miglior sorpasso della mia carriera, perché è stato perfetto, pulito, e poi vincere una gara all'ultima curva è un'emozione grandissima.
God knows how, but Valentino found a way through on the inside and almost lost the front.
No terminó con el resultado que me hubiese gustado, porque me hubiese gustado ganar esa carrera, y yo pienso que de haber ganado la carrera hubiese cambiado mucho el desenlace final del campeonato. Pero bueno, también fue una lección que aprendí en ese momento que me ha servido después, y yo pienso que me servirá en el futuro, que es aprender a tapar bien los huecos y no dejar ningún espacio.
Valentino was aware that he could make a pass on that last section of the racetrack, and it was quite a commonplace to make a pass in the old days with the 500, which is something that Valentino had experience of.
Fue, digamos, una genialidad que sorprendió a Jorge porque él pensó que entrando en la 11, entrando primero, ya no lo podía pasar. Valentino se sacó más de la manga, pero la nobleza de la lucha para mí es lo que más hay que destacar.
We had two sides of the garage, you know, we had the wall in the garage and the left side and the right side, so of course the tension there in the garage was extreme. And then at the end of it, somebody had to lose and somebody had to win, and we had the incredible screams and shouts on this side of the garage, people going crazy, and the other side people were just gutted. And so it was a kind of a, we were first and second, but it really felt like we were first and last, you know, because the balance was like that. But very exciting. That's what MotoGP is all about.
Yo creo que salió reforzado, sobre todo Jorge, por cómo lo celebró el otro lado del box, que para ellos fue un triunfo que cambió la dinámica de la temporada y que luego derivó en el título de Valentino, pero para Jorge fue el demostrarse que estaba mano a mano con el más grande que era Valentino en ese momento.
It was a defining moment because they'd done it publicly and they'd done it on the racetrack.
やはり才能のあるライダーが同じバイクで全力で戦うということは、開発しているエンジニアにとってもライダーたち本人にとっても非常にモチベーションが高揚してくるっていうか、ライダーエンジニアにとって非常に相乗効果があるいいことだと思います。
That race really told us how it could be. So that kind of changed the game inside the team, and I think it was obvious then that both of the guys, sooner or later, they were going to be challenging head to head for the championship.
Chiaro che la rivalità è rimasta tra le due squadre, c'è sempre stato un ottimo clima nel team. Io credo che comunque a livello di squadra la Yamaha abbia gestito molto bene questa situazione che era difficile.
From that moment it was obvious that it was an explosive situation that could happen at any moment, and so the management after that was quite delicate.
My initial thoughts were that I hoped that he had just twisted his ankle. Unfortunately that wasn't the case, and the leg was broken.
Non capisci come dici non è possibile, questo a Valentino Rossi no, non è possibile. Una grande paura, anche tristezza di quello che può succedere.
When he wasn't there, it was okay. What do? Well, we haven't prepared for this.
La reazione, secondo me, al di là dello shock appunto del momento della caduta, è stata più bella la domenica quando Valentino ha telefonato dal letto d'ospedale.
Ciao a tutti, sono Valentino. Mi mancate molto e comunque ci vorrà un po' di tempo, ma ritornerò presto, ecco.
Allora noi siamo con te!
Credo che Valentino abbia poi dimostrato tutta la sua voglia di tornare a correre, la sua forza, perché ha dovuto lavorare moltissimo per riuscire a rientrare dopo solo i 40 giorni.
Della caduta e dell'infortunio ho ricordi piuttosto abbastanza brutti, perché è molto male, fa molto dolore, tanto, e soprattutto appena dopo. Poi la recuperazione è stato difficile, perché comunque era d'estate, quindi sai, non riuscire a camminare d'estate, perché poi io mi ero fatto male anche alla spalla, quindi ero un po' fermo a casa, però mi ricordo che c'era sempre tanta gente a casa mia, tanti miei amici che preparavano da mangiare, pranzo e cena, poi c'era il mondiale di calcio, abbiamo guardato dal divano il mondiale di calcio, quindi è stato bello, ecco, recuperare. E peccato che ho dovuto saltare tante gare, io non sono abituato, perché era la prima volta che mi succedeva, ho dovuto saltare addirittura 4, però è stata anche una bella soddisfazione tornare al Sachsenring dopo 40 giorni e riuscire subito a fare una bella gara.
When Valentino came back from his injury, by that time we knew pretty much that Lorenzo was going to take the World Championship, so it had already started that the rivalry whereby who was going to be top dog at Yamaha now. We saw the race at Motegi just what it meant to him to be ahead of Lorenzo, that fairing bashing race between the pair of them. I don't think you could have kept the two of them in a team for another year together. Even if you'd had the money to do so, I don't think you could have done it.
You know, Valentino was coming back from an injury, and he was getting faster and faster, and he wanted to prove again he could win and be the winner, and was the strongest within the Yamaha team. And obviously Lorenzo was on his way towards the championship. So it was a very different scenario. The year before, they were effectively equal. The championship was in the beginning stage, and they were both fighting for the championship. But in Motegi it was different. Lorenzo was clearly almost there, almost arrived to the champion, and Valle was trying to come back and re-establish himself again. So very different race.
Yeah, it was a great race, and I think that's a very good example from great riding and great riders, and also a good example from how you are able to keep your competitor alive, I would say.
We were not too impressed with some elements of that race, because at the same time as it being a spectacular challenge, it was also some risk for our team. We were heading towards the Triple Crown. So Triple Crown meaning constructor, but also team and also individual rider pilot. There was some risk involved there, so this was a little bit not so good for the heart.
Lynn Jarvis did say that he'd never been so nervous on the pit wall, but it's very difficult for him to give team orders, and particularly team orders to Valentino Rossi, who was leaving the team. There was all sorts of other politics going on behind the scene, but still, Valentino Rossi, he may have put Lorenzo in his box at Catalunya 09, but I don't think he's completely put him in his box like Valentino did with Gibernau at Jerez.
Lorenzo se dio cuenta de que es un fajador nato, de que Valentino nunca da nada por perdido y nunca va a tirar la toalla. Y ahí se peleó muy duro con él, y también Jorge sacó una lección bastante importante, y es que, pues eso, que con Valentino hay que jugárselo hasta la última curva, que no te va a regalar nunca nada, aunque no tenga la moto a punto, aunque no esté bien de forma.
Una cuarta posición detrás de Valentino era un buen resultado. Lo que pasa es que, bueno, que caí en esa trampa de querer hacer podium, de querer un poco ganarle por primera vez en el cuerpo a cuerpo, y pequé un poco demasiado ambicioso cuando lo que tocaba era hacer cuarto.
Lorenzo era da qualche gara che diceva adesso io sono più forte di Valentino e ho bisogno, adesso devo batterlo, no, in una gara, una battaglia corpo a corpo, e lì c'è stata l'occasione, ecco, e quindi c'era in palio anche l'onore, non solo il podio.
Todos los adelantamientos que me hizo fueron al límite, sin ningún temor a que yo me cayese. A él le daba igual, no tenía mucho temor a que yo me cayese, me lesionase y perdiese campeonato. Él lo único que quería hacer es ganarme esa carrera y yo también quería ganarle a él.
Using his power constantly to break the other riders, which he's allowed to do. But Jorge is mentally quite strong.
Empezó a asumir ese rol de número uno, ¿no? que hay que asumir cuando no quieres quedarte en un mero segundón, ¿no? Y yo creo que Jorge a partir de ahí sí es verdad que empezó a cruzar ya declaraciones con Valentino, empezó a sacar la cara, porque de otra forma, con un piloto como Rossi, si no sacas el carácter, también fuera de la pista, te acaba comiendo.
Él tenía muy claro desde el principio que estaba al lado de Valentino, pero que Valentino al final es otro piloto, no es Dios. Entonces, como lo tenía tan claro, no tenía miedo de enfrentarse a él.
El aceptar de que un piloto más joven pudiese ir más rápido con su misma moto en la mayoría de las carreras y de alguna forma pues quitarle el puesto en su fábrica, pues eso supongo que fue algo que a él le molestó y quiso demostrar que todavía seguía yendo muy rápido con esa moto y todavía me podía ganar.
Onore al merito a Lorenzo perché è stato molto forte nel 2010, quindi si è meritato il titolo perché non ha commesso errori, perché ha vinto diverse gare, quindi questo non è nemmeno in discussione. Mi dispiace che Valentino non abbia potuto lottare fino alla fine, ecco, insomma, non la giudico una sconfitta vera, ecco, da questo punto di vista, ripetendo i complimenti a Lorenzo.
Io non sono un pilota e non lo sono mai stato, però posso capire che a caldo, e questo l'ho notato con l'esperienza, un pilota a caldo subito dopo la gara è portato a pensare e quindi a dire cose che probabilmente a freddo non direbbe o neanche penserebbe. Quello fu uno di questi casi. Jorge finì la gara, per lui a caldo quella gara o alcuni di quei sorpassi, alcuni di quei contatti non erano stati legali, diciamo così, e venne a parlarne con noi, venne a parlarne con Lynn Jarvis, con Nakajima e da lì successe il putiferio perché poi i giornalisti chiaramente lo vennero a sapere e iniziò il tutto.
A veces Valentino pues adelanta siempre al límite de la legalidad, ¿no? Sucedió con Gibernau en Jerez, con Stoner en Laguna Seca y ahora ha pasado conmigo. Quizá pues los pilotos al final, sus rivales al final pues se hartarán de esta situación y será él el que reciba los golpes en el futuro a lo mejor.
Yamaha en general tomó una decisión y la llevaron hasta la última consecuencia. Ellos querían que Rossi continuase en el equipo, querían que Rossi se retirase en el equipo y que continuase ligado al equipo incluso después de retirarse, porque es un valor importantísimo y lo seguirá siendo cuando se retire. Lo que pasa que las renuncias que les pedía Rossi para hacer esto decidieron no aceptarlas, con lo cual fue una gestión suya que en el futuro se verá si acertaron o no.